head no anti Obanwa comment Dankwe Piaborason Tente Onukutabono Dandomu Olume Piaborason Tenten Wope era Korokoswaba Beje Bokakra A7 Jesse era Gotina Bloody Piaboraso 1 2 3 wa Piaboraso de Monaco Nisin Tenten Wope na one over Peja Amos Rimpo Nanso Dabi and goalkeeper Samia J. Watchibon in Tenten Woperiama, Ayopima Dankwe Piaboraso de Bonaco, Tete was Santa Seco, Obe Piaboraso Beteni, Nanso Dabi, has a phone, Bobby B, has a legend phono, one more actually be papa. Now Akaya's Wage Kakrabwa, now we Gianoabo, now we Genoabo. Oshe Chastela Nimuya you drew pitches on what depa Chastela no whom Nimuya do Amos Frimpon Olomo Olomo pa Bopa Amos Frimpo Olomo Nasodabi Piaboraso and Tenten or Penasodabi and Farisulia Tiafaso Krobia Kumasia Samtroko Krobia Kumasia Samtroko 1 2 3 Nasodabi Akomo Kwampa, Mamma Mia, Akome Kwampa, Papa, Bobby, Ocha Chance Runyana, Akubam, Enkawino, Enkane, Tetinanko, Uncle Nimukra, Coben, and your straight. My auntie, that sounds like any penny it will be a Pomodino, at you are not you. Okay, at a dinner, now be useful. Okay, wow, Ariantia came and so, Aria Piaborson, Tenten, Santa Seco. Ara Boris I will come with Piaboraso and I was down Abrantia retaining down Queen that done. And I think like
especially in this game we've seen one miss from Charles Taylor and another from Prince Edupoku.
Yeah, it was a tumble at the other end. You were thinking that should have been a clear-cut chance for Asante Kotoko. But like Prince, like we keep saying, these are players who still enjoy playing because they started playing a game of football due to the passion they had, and they would never stop playing. But the competitiveness is not there, and you can see the run from a bloody
Asante Kotoko.
They still have it, playing with the high line, trying to just play their opponent offside and all that. You can see it, but I just want to see the skillful players, the playmakers we used to see back in the day on the ball. And Chastela is just limited to the center circle. We are not seeing Chastela trying to exploit the.
You wouldn't expect much from them, would you? They'll try and keep it within a certain core of the area they occupy on the field.
There's Marka, he tried to
catch the Jacob Nete we see today. But for those who remember very well, in the year 2000, Jacob Nete was primus inter pares. I mean, he did what he had to do, and he almost always had head coach, the late Sir Cecil Jones, that took a few close to him on the touchline, telling him exactly what to disappoint for Accra Hearts of Folk to take advantage of as they come forward. Good skill checking there on the nice and the far side. They try and come through the middle now. Tichi Mensah will be joining the attack as they come forward. Ajatete fights and gains control, lays on the pass to the near side. Here's Jacob Nete now. Quick 1-2 between these players. Jacob combines very well with Ajatete, and then is pushed on the far side by Eric Nyako, another of those silky skilled players for Accra Hearts of Folk once upon a time. Known for his overlapping runs, known for those curly crosses and incisive passes. I'm sure we'll see a couple of them today. It's not left him, has it?
Definitely, no, he still has it. You can see with that run. And Prince, one thing that fascinates me is the fact that there used to be a team of Hearts and Kotoko filled with legends, filled with leaders. And you would understand why they used to win. They were serial winners back then because each and every player on the pitch was a leader, and that's what they always had in Amakwame.
That's a free kick to Accra. And the senior teams as well. And of course made a name for Asante Kotoko. Once in a while, or once upon a time, he passed through teams like Accra Great Olympics. And he was almost always agile in goal.
I believe we could have a long list of those profiles of these players and what they achieved during their playing days. And Prince, it's just a good feeling. It's so refreshing seeing them play. Again, most of them have been off the scenes for a long time, after retirement. And most of them, we used to see them, most of them, are still into the football business. But then having two sets of legends play, Prince.
Kotoko come forward. And the 14 jersey, by the way, is Osei Kwame Jr. But now it's a chance for Asante Kotoko to come forward, this time operating from the far left. Good skill. And you realize that there's not much running. Joe Louise plays on the pass nicely. Ablodenko would come forward. For the better part of gentlemen or players like Ablode, of course he's still in the business. And he's just won for himself Ghana's Premier League, and so obviously feeling good about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he could just become one of the very few players to have won it, as both player and
pass
a coach.
From that was a pass from Ajatete trying to locate Wisdom Magleto. Game being played at an easy pace, no need for urgency, but obviously a game between Hearts and Kotoko, whether it's at the Legends level or the current level, is just like the Black Stars playing Nigeria, whether it's a friendly international or a competitive game. It is always competitive.
It's always hostile, friendly. There's nothing friendly about games like this. And you mentioned, the goalkeeper, Osei Boate of Kotoko, being part of the team when that unfortunate dark incident happened on the May 9th 2001. Some of them enjoyed glory days, others were tough times for them.
Sure.
But nonetheless, they both had the privilege of playing for the biggest clubs in the country, and that could be dangerous.
No problems at all for him. That was a back pass, I think or believe it was from Dankwe.
Yeah, and you could see that long pass, and he still got his speed a bit. I'm just waiting to see how he could dive. There's that agility. That's one of the things I'm hoping to see from Samir J. He's a legendary goalkeeper.
Yep, and he's almost always getting the best out of them. As the teams came out for the early warm-up, behind Samir J was another of those stalwart goalkeepers produced by Accra Hearts of Oak, Eben Amadida. And between those two, what glorious moments they had on the field of play. The match commissioner for this game, by the way, is former FIFA referee Thomas Nunu. And Thomas Nunu has been in between these two sides many a time.
That's quite quick, and the fans are beginning to react. Friends, gradually, I think we're warming ourselves. It's not like the tempo is a bit slow. That's the tempo of the game. Looking at the ages, and the strength and stamina of these players, you'd rather expect quite a very, very slow game, but at least with some, skill, and then also, some refreshment as well, just like we are seeing already.
Early stages of the game, no goal scored as yet. Brought down nicely by Jacob Nete. I remember one of the training sessions where Sir Cecil Jones Atukwefi was in charge. A mistake was committed in defense, and that was before the final against Tunisia Esperance at the Accra Sports Stadium. Costly mistake. Cecil Jones went up to Jacob Nete and told him that in the game we've seen Samir J, we've not seen Charles Taylor, we've also not seen Bernard Don Bote.
And you remember that partnership between Don Bote and then also Charles Taylor? One of the best you would ever see.
That was a fluent pair. They understood themselves. They knew where they were on the field of play at any point in time.
And the fear they struck into opponents. And at this point, I want to send a plea to the race man. We've seen it now. We've seen more of the flag than even Chastela and Donwote combined. And that was very, very tight.
Flag went up on the far side
over there.
But again, we're also yet to see the pacey nature of Godwin Abrode. We've seen just a little bit. We haven't seen Joe Sam come into the game. Joe Louise has had a few touches. The defense has been good. Amos with the ball now nicely brought down. Very good reader of the game, by the way. Amos Frimpong. Nanka Bruce picks it up. Good turn by Lawrence Achatete. Back in the day, it was always a delight to see Nanka Bruce play for Accra Hearts of Oak, but also had a stint with Accra Great Olympics.
For a yellow card from the referee. This is where it starts to boil, Prince. That's what you want to see. And that was a very, very good run, from the right hand side over there. And the Tamam again, just look at that. He still has it.
Well, you give him an inch, he will always take a yard.
Of course, and he's able to snip those in the pockets of spaces, even at very, very tight corners. And just look at that. And after that, you would expect that, he definitely has every right to complain. Yeah.
Emmanuel Nkrumah had to fall back deep for Kotoko, but he gives away a free kick. The first free kick was taken from that same spot by Yawamankwa Mreku. This time, I think it's going to be Bernard Don Botte who's gone behind the ball. Certainly not the position. Thank you very much. If you've just joined us, we're coming to you live from the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, where it is the curtain raiser prior to the 2025 MTN FA Cup final, and this game is between Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko. Of course, not the current generation that you know.
But I believe if both coaches are watching, there's Abuka Wata and then also Karim Zito, then Prince, perhaps they might have an opportunity to re-sign some of these players. Look at the season they had. Perhaps they'll be watching and saying, I wish I had this guy in his prime, especially with Amam Kwamiku and already how pleasing he's been on right hand side of attack. I believe Abubakar Ataku, he just wished.
Most of them have been very, very very active, should I say, especially those who throng the various parks for the Monday Stars. They are almost always there showing what they've got. The coaches may have a look at them. Well, I'll be surprised if any of them should get an opportunity to play for the current team, but opportunity gone a begging. Wisdom was flagged offside once again.
And that's the most frustrating part for Accra Hearts of Oak. The flag has gone up about 10 times already, and it's all due to the fact that the Kotoko defense know how pacey the Accra Hearts of Oak attack, so they're trying to play smart, but then they need to be cautious because they might try to find one legitimate ball through.
So Kotoko have an opportunity to come forward yet again. This time they want to go again. This time they want to go through the middle. Good touch on the part of Joe Sam, and then on the far side, where to contend with Amankwa Mreku. Joe Sam, Joe Louis interchangeably keeping the pressure on Hearts. But it's Dankwe who stops them in their tracks. Lawrence Ajatete turns. Lawrence has a soccer academy that trains young footballers, and the fans would applaud the effort.
His second attempt on goal, if I should put it, but the skill there to go past Dankwe. You can see Dankwe ruthlessly trying to chase him down. I don't know, unfortunately he just couldn't hit that one on target. Friends, it's always the skill for me, the ease with which he does it. And these are players we're saying haven't hit the pitch for a long time. He deserves credit for that run. Earlier on, we saw him trying to catch Samir J from about 40 yards out, but this was a bit closer. Unfortunately, it wasn't really precise. It wasn't on target.
Pass from Dankwe. Ajatete couldn't get to it. Recovered nicely by Amos. And now Akwafo. Good turn. Finds Godwin Ablodi.
One of his qualities, Prince, and that's it. That last ditch tackle. Remember this guy? Rock solid in defense for Accra Hearts of Oak. And just look at that. It was timely. Just giving no room at all. Signaling no quarter for his opponent.
And once you mentioned Prince Edupoku, especially in a match against their arch rivals Accra Hearts of Oak, it is almost always cocksure that the next name you will hear who will be manning him in defense is Emmanuel Ama Senegal. Senegal is absent today. But those two had some rich battles, I can tell you, Josiah. Prince Edupoku was the marksman for Asante Kotoko, got some very important goals for the Porcupine Warriors, but almost always had a problem when he came up against Emmanuel Ama, also known as Senegal. Here we go with Accra Hearts of Oak build up once again. Dan Quay. Aja gives the ball away. Kwafu say thank you very much. The flip-flopping, overlapping, and then off target once again.
He still remains a danger man for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and they are struggling to keep up with the skill. He's so swift with the ball. Apologies, with his arms raised over there, trying to apologize to his teammate. But there was nothing he could have done over there. Ajatete just went to sleep over there. Just look at that. Caught him from the
good
the skill.
Good footwork there.
So imagine him in his prime.
You'd pay to watch him. You figure he would want to play in the current team?
Yeah, I think so.
His face.
I think so. Maybe. It's just the age and the stamina that's lacking. But
exactly.
The skill is still there.
But we've seen players who have played with a lot of skill, less stamina. But they've also, made it in the Premiership. Yeah. Let's see what opportunity comes for Accra Hearts of Oak out of this one. Wisdom gets to the ball. And he go round his marker. In the 18-yard box, they're calling for the cross. Eventually, the cross comes through. Accra Hearts of Oak have been committed in the 18-yard box, but eventually headed away. Picked up by Godwin Ablode. Josiah was talking about the skills, and we were telling you for a fact that, look, they can play in the Premiership. It's just that they may not have the stamina.
Exactly.
We saw for a very good example in Godwin Atram, who played for Accra Great Olympics a season or two, even after he had hanged his boots and come to Ghana. Long ball in Kanakwafu, get to it. Latches onto it first time. The idea was good. It only lacked the direction. And again, this for me is a learning opportunity for the younger generation to see these players who have gone past their prime but reliving it with ease.
Exactly. And on Friday I chanced upon the chairman of the MTN FA Cup committee, Wilson Arthur, and he spoke about the fact that they came up with this idea because they want the Gen Zs to have a feel of what these legends are about. It was what once Ghana football was about. Prince. They made the headlines. These were the players that pulled the crowd to our various stadiums, and each and every time our stadiums were filled to the capacity because of the brilliance, and the ingenuity of some of these players.
Yeah, I couldn't doubt you at all on that stage, and even to the extent that people went to the stadium to watch Hearts in Kotoko, not simply because it was Hearts in Kotoko, but for 2 or 3 players who stood out for their teams. Here comes Amos. He's got a sweet right foot. This time he looks for Akwafu and gets him. Flip didn't work, but they latch onto it again. Is another opportunity for Kotoko. Sekwame loses control. Own goal scored by Kotoko. It's now 1 goal to the good for the Porcupine. To Accra Hearts of Oak. Own goal scored by Kotoko, and they're coming forward to see whether they can make amends. I'm sure they'll be buoyed up by this as they try and come forward, but misplaced pass will be picked up nicely by Gabriel Opokuware, and then will urge his colleagues to come forward. Back pass to Osei Boateng, miscalculated. Osei tried his very best, got fingertips to it, or tried to make a save. It didn't work. Here's Akwafu now. Lovely ball through the middle. Samir J to the rescue. But that was a sweet build-up.
That was what we're talking about. That was what I've been waiting for. The reflexes from Samir J. And again, Prince is Akwafu from the right-hand side. And just so unlucky. But Samir J still has, that prowess, that goalkeeping prowess. And one of the days when he used to be the number 1 for the Black Stars of Ghana. Really had a good time.
That was a good old days, wasn't it? Dankwe will come forward. Prince Edupoku tries to clip him from behind. He's penalized for that. And you realize that Edupoku has sort of drifted towards the left-hand side of the attack.
From Samieji. After that earlier save, it was an offside, but you give him credit, for going down in time to put his body right behind the ball. think the Heart of Oak defense will need to step up, especially with their concentration. They are losing it a lot, and Kotoko are finding spaces, especially from the right hand side, through Francis Akwafo.
Hearts would clear out their lines. Tichi Mensah gets a foot to it, but Kotoko will pick up the pieces. They need to get themselves back into the game. That's a lovely pass through. They can Ablodi get his foot to it. And Accra Hearts will give away a first corner kick to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We're still in the first half. So far, so good.
Still pushing for the equalizer, Kumasi Asante Kotoko. It was an unfortunate goal they conceded. It was such a brilliant ball, especially if the Hearts of Oak player had scored. But unfortunately, it didn't come from a Hearts of Oak player. And now they believe it's time for them to just draw level before even recess.
There's a corner kick headed away. Not the best of corner kicks from Kumasi Asante Kotoko's Prince Edupoku. But they'll come forward now. They're trying to keep Accra Hearts of Oak in their own half, as you can see. And it tells you the urgency with which they would want to fight back. Still coming forward. Osei Kwame. Mankwa gets the ball away from Osei Kwame's feet. And it's Asampong. Charles Taylor. The terror he was called back in the day.
Dazzling. Dazzling.
Showing a little bit of those rich silky skills. Together with a partnership together with Don Bote and Ishmael Ado. What a formation that was. Can Wisdom keep it in play this time? It will go out for a throw in. There won't be time for the throw in because the players will come off for the end of the half. It's been a good game so far. At least we've seen the touches that made these players who they were once upon a time. Don Bote, Ajatete, Tichi Mensah, Ninanka Bruce. They're all in there. The Kotoko players have also lived up to expectation. Emmanuel Nkrumah, Amos Frimpong, Charles Taylor, Joe Sam, Francis Akwafo. Those were the good old days, and these were names that drew attention in terms of crowds to the various stadia everywhere they played.
Yeah, and at least we've seen snippets of what their game, their TV sets, or even.
But Sa kan kasi e ka Ghana e ka bia sa me atemuni koro old players bi na dia di bia se atumire ti o high ama sabi obi free man ba bi ba kwa no say player we say aye legend go Ghana ha it e fani ni agro but Ghana I found everything for granted
and then can maybe say seems like a Kroma no compared to outsiders now they value their legend. Than say Kroma, value a legend for them because
let me give you this scenario. So they value a legend for now, legend for now. And even though say Asamoah can no man sitting as Asamoah to a blaster. Because say Uko Eto
Cameroon.
Look at how they cherish their legend.
Yes.
But we Africa can use our motivation. The animal is by fighting. And we are you say, and we are you say, and about that respect, let's say the legend for no. Anyhow, and can open it as a margin. That is what we have to do.
Yes.
Uko, I will say another. I was zero Pampo, Guyana legend.
Yes.
We are respecting, actually, this is our legend.
Yes.
By Ghana, we need it. And the idea, I've done it. Chronic, I did this about the Yarabia Ghana.
Wow.
And of course, only we are. Then here, now for retirement, walk us out in
Wow. But the youth ever and then how your football is this echo. Over I can say youth no almost near the football.
Yo, youth never and then youth now almost bano.
Yeah.
Omu no nim dia na omu di ba no e na omu di omu ahode no omu adwene atoso but omu nya say omu sua bibi afiri mpanimfo no a omu etia bobo ni nche no e dia ka omu di ho anu na ma omu nya problem no because baby a pass ni free ba pass ni free say ba legend onu nim say ni player wa hanti da do mo to ye ni na say no pass na ko dada
yes
and your self confidence and belief how to position the ball and hit the pass at the time. Yes. The young was being honest. I don't know I'm finding it difficult. But I don't show me the beer. I one winner. I show the video of them. It's also be called anyone that says also the different legend being shine. Wow. But I'm more proud of you. They are finding it difficult.
Yeah, among the best to say, Kotoko has a big club of Puma. But now saying sorry to use this word. Among the would say. It's a Kotoko has a big necessary first. Only on my agree. We know we are doing. Okay.
Because they are legends for you. On the time, it was a sound, a dino, and it's out 2 minutes. Okay. Now it is a Kotoko, Accra. And Panas or Cobechem and Okobe Bimpoa. The moment a bus no do on a spirit to be one can what panicida. But a nano and new horse. What I say, you now banning must have back of way back spirit, Anyhow, the last time I catch a house of be catch a fan with the house of folk. Dakwani, Samoko money, don't bought time. Way back spirit now, what has and you hope you come for yesterday, anyhow, unless a player material Nakasa didn't want to say. Nyama boy me want to me ball and you know be excelling a bet phone I'm here with a boy on the ball. For instance, Benjamin Obayanu nobody know where it came from Asante Kotoko. But the modern body now a war fit it now Omudi Jidino or the leader can sure. I don't know why they or Jidino. And I started to find whom I saw and pay me humble yourself and learn it and move forward. I know and I to say self respect to say bar self respect to be sound bar. I was to say yes starting league no fresh. Hey, house we need 2 Kotoko we need 2 we need 3 what about do send your money back get the spirit back into the team and Sana others even say yes this time around no Kotoko go share only has go share now when fishing anchor those days fishing ubada ben when basake ubada ben but a game when you nyama here they will counter you and overcome you. It doesn't matter the name is big, but what is protecting the name by that time? Any of you?
Wow. Sure.
Wow. And nothing I must have any of them. Almost faces our crisis.
And then I'm paying for a bit nyaba.
And penny for no, also a moya and said, Musa, Kotoko, and I'm a fast and the house.
Yes, sure.
Yes, see house of folk, yeah. And Pennyphone saw us, I say, any of Donna now move that time. Any young man now moved to me, my house had to me funny to my Pestrano. I said one of the elders needed to look way back. No more call your correct year. No more gather a grub on maybe a normal to the Arazibu. Santissa, now me I don't believe it, say. Nyama be say bet me about back. I'm a house of folk and I go back. As I get back to there. I didn't move going leave or move anywhere. What was it? Hard effort and I'm moving airball leg. Okay. And you put us near to you. Sure. And can visit me Kotoko concerning you. And sit down. Yes, sir. And you say what one wants your grounds here. Polyquare corner and a bobada. Sure. Because they are not doing their things well. That is why things are starting against them. So they have to make their corrections well. So they can come back. So you should say 2025, you know. Nyana ya kasa tiano. And Pennyphone ni beti nya aremo ya sanya mani bi mama spirit na babaka na. Nyana say they can also move forward with what we are saying now.
Do our clubs almost there? Your clubs almost there.
Yeah, almost there.
Wow.
But sir, nipa bi ben wo. Okay. Now una wo yes wo ma ona wo is carry ade. Okay. Now who ideas of team we na nipa bi ben wo. Na say ade ni on person e be koso a obebu ato egu. Ti de bia no ade na na e person team no enya no.
Omunya. Wow.
Anka titi baba ti ni ho. Sure. But this time around Ben Pennyphone na is Kabua team.
Yes.
It is a young, yes, sir. 25 now.
Reverse to his coaching role.
This will change to the sense of place. Yes. We are, other teams also have to players.
Okay.
Young, yes, sir, no matter what.
Accra Hearts of Oak have made a change as Jacob Neti has gone off. I want to believe that it's Douglas Nkrumah who has taken his place. Samir J keeps himself busy as he warms up for the commencement of the second half. Still to come is the big one that we are all expecting. Is the MTN FA Cup final for the season 2025. And boy, what a clash we have on our hands. It would be Asante Kotoko taking on Golden Cakes. First incursion, Amos gets himself busy. Now, what kind of effect will this attack have on the defense of Accra Hearts of Oak? They give the ball away. The advantage will still stay with the Porcupine Warriors. A quick word there from our center referee between Tichi Mensah and Prince Edupoku. Issues resolved and we're good to go. Akwafo lines up behind the ball for the free kick. There's a one-man wall formed by Accra Hearts of Oak at this stage. Sami says one is enough. Charles Taylor has that duty. Referee's whistle goes, and that's a long free kick coming in. Samir J to the rescue. Just like old times, he reads it very well, smothers the ball, and keeps it in safe custody. It's a good free kick there. Trying to get advantage at the far pole was, I want to believe, Daniel Nia J, trying to see if he's the chap who's come on. Foot up there, referee notices it and will give the advantage to Kotoko. The chap in the number 7 shirt for Accra Hearts of Oak is Emmanuel Osei, who's also come on. Chasing after the ball, that was a pass from Nanka Bruce. And Samir J will pick it up. Trademark distribution from Bates, they call him. Hearts still lead by 1-0. And it's a careful build-up this time by the Phobians as they seek to come forward. Lovely pass there. There's a dash round. Accra Hearts of Oak approach from the left-hand side. Douglas did well to hold on to it, but the flag is up. All ballooned away by Nanka Bruce. Or should I say it was Bernard Donbote rather. Bernard Dada Diop, serial killer Donbote. He's noted for one thing when it comes to matches against Asante Kotoko. And Asante Kotoko will always pray that there is no free kick close to their 18-yard box. Bernard Donbote will rise to the occasion. Now in charge of coaching, I beg your pardon, for the Hearts junior team. And of course, letting the young ones have a feel of what it used to be when he was in his prime. As try and come through the middle, keeping the ball to themselves. Lovely pass through there. Unfortunately, that flick from Bernard did not go too far, but Accra Hearts of Oak will keep the pressure on. Flag is up. Wisdom was caught in the offside trap. Free kick to Kotoko. Opokuwari takes it, finds Idrisu Yaya. It goes back to Idrisu. Idrisu slips but keeps it in motion. Akwafu will pick it up. Good build up by Asante Kotoko. Lovely 1-2. He gets to the ball. He sends in the cross. Despite the fact that it was going out, Samir J still rose to the occasion. Corner kick advantage to Kotoko. And again, we are seeing Bathes in his prime.
That was one dangerous ball, and one thing he's not missed has been his steps. He's always calculated it. He's been on point with the saves he's made. Samir J.
Throw into Kotoko. They have an opportunity to get one back at Accra Hearts of Oak. Referee says play on no handball situation. Lovely dummy, but good recovery by Accra Hearts of Oak. Wisdom has got space in front of him. He'll be ably aided on his right by Bernard Donbote. You realize that Donbote has gone slower than usual. Wisdom still goes through. He's in the 18-yard box. He keeps his momentum. That's nice enough. Fans applaud. And Accra Hearts of Oak looking for an opportunity to delve in the cross. Yes, Emmanuel Osei. Obuo, they used to call him back in his heyday, into the enemy territory. Wisdom, chance for Accra Hearts of Oak, drilled in by Osei Boateng.
Shot unleashed by Francis Akwafu. Hearts of Oak, I think they put themselves in that situation. They could have cleared it at the very first time with asking.
Kotoko have made a quick change. We'll just confirm that in a minute. But I see Osman Gambo on the field, and Accra Hearts of Oak will be making some changes of their own as well. One of them certainly will be Ablade Morgan. Eben Dida, the coach for the Hearts team this afternoon. I'm sure Ablade Morgan will be coming on. I am sure that Samir J will also be making way for Kwate.
It's like Donbote has been subbed off as well.
Yeah.
He's been very quiet throughout the game.
He's been very quiet. Ablade Morgan takes Donbote's place. Lord Kwate takes Samir J's place, all receiving the applause. What a game they've had. And I think coming off is Nanka Brooks. That's Kwate in your shot. After Accra Hearts of Oak, he went around for a while, and then he was in charge of goalkeeping for Brecum Chelsea. Fresh limbs needed on the field of play. Charles Taylor also says these are goodbyes, and I think Charles Taylor's place has been taken by Wisdom Abbey.
That sounds familiar.
These are the good old names of the good old days. Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak. You mentioned some of the names, and it's clear to know where they're coming from and where they're going. Picked up nicely. What a very intelligent chip there as they come forward. Daniel Nieje showing his class. Lace on the pass. A Ghana Premier League winner this season with Heart of Lions. Oh! He had to stretch to his elastic limit. Kwate.
He literally clawed that one out of the goalpost. Just look at that. But then an infringement in the build-up. But those reflexes, Prince, you've been thinking these are aged players. You know, you just can't fathom how they get it done. But just look at that. And that could have been another lovely own goal. Like we saw in the first half, you know, that went in favor of Accra Hearts of Oak.
But Osman Gambo also did very well. Got his head to it and had to call on the expertise of Lord Kwate. Dankwe will go through the middle. He gets a return. There are options on the side, and the first option he will pick up is Obuo Emmanuel Osei. Good run forward by Accra Hearts of Oak. Clip from behind in the process, Douglas Nkrumah. Ablade Morgan. Very quiet, very gentle player, Ablade Morgan, but gets the job when he has to. Lovely flick. And the Kotoko players are playing with a lot of telepathy. On that occasion, it was well read. They couldn't go forward. Accra Hearts of Oak have an opportunity, but then they also gave it away. Free kick advantage, says the referee.
For a second, I was thinking that would have gone in favor of Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Yeah.
That was the earlier foul over there. I think I would have to agree with the referee.
Even the reactions from Amos Frimpong says it all. And that's Osei Boateng in goal for Kotoko.
And there's a push over there, and it's taking us back to the time where you can see a couple of pushes over there. That's typical Hearts in Kotoko.
Oh, yeah.
Even at the legend stage, and you would understand. Because we needed a goal sprint. At some point you were thinking, yeah, it was a slow pace, but I think the pace has, even elevated since we saw the first goal from Accra Hearts of Oak, and then that was what led Kumasi Asante Kotoko to the equalizer as well.
What an atmosphere, what an afternoon for association football. The MTN FA Cup, Kotoko Golden Kicks coming up. Don't go away. Free kick to Accra Hearts of Oak. Pass from Morgan. Hearts still holding on to it. They're looking to fire a shot from a distance, or pushed on by Eric Nyakun. Fighting tooth and nail for it. Still kept in play, but eventually it's booted out into touch.
It's the first time in a long while we've seen Hearts of Oak, try clipping Kumasi Asante Kotoko in their own 18-yard box. They barely have one or two or more than two touches whenever they advance into the penalty box of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But clearly there's so much quality in defense for Asante Kotoko.
No, without a doubt, these are gentlemen who, on any given day, always blaze the trail for both sides. Osman. Good pass trying to come through the middle. It looks very tight, but Kotoko managed to go through. It's an opportunity as they get close to the 18-yard box. Nicely checked in by Dan Quay. Referee says there was a little bit of pushing in the process, or should I say diving on the part of the Kotoko player, and so for simulation he will get nothing out of it.
Friends, that was a masterpiece. The art of defending brought to you courtesy Dan Quay. And we used to see this back in the day, just so easily been done. And just look at how he got it done. In the first half, it was a last-ditch tackle, to relieve Hearts of Oak off some pressure over there.
That's a good cross ball brought down nicely. Can he get a shot on target? Hustled off the ball. He rather brings the player down in the process. And Josiah, I couldn't agree with you more. These are players who are showing how it is done. There's no need to rush. There's no need to gamble.
Not at all.
You control nicely, you get the advantage of your opponent, and then you're away.
And you'd be asking, has football changed since that time? Because I think they used to get a job done so easily, and these were stars that, football was so easily. It was an art for them, Prince.
It was. Douglas Nkrumah dispossessed, Godwin Ablodi. He needs the support. He will get the support on the near side from Joe Louis. Joe Louis is clipped, and he will get a free kick.
That was a good skill over there. And when this complaint starts coming up, then you know that the frustrations will soon set in.
Not the best of crosses as it goes over the line, the baseline for a goal kick. So Kotoko and Hearts, the oldies, living it up, attracting quite a sizable crowd here at the University of Ghana. But we definitely are waiting for the big one, and when these older generation men are off the field, it will be the turn of the younger generation, comprising Golden Kicks Football Club and Asante Kotoko for the MTN FA Cup final. Who represents Ghana in Africa in the CAF Champions League?
Ubia, Prince.
Most definitely Ubia.
Ubia.
Good control by Wisdom Abbey. Solid pass through. There's a run for it. Wisdom tries to outrun the Kotoko defense. Opoku gets the upper hand. Referee says the game should continue, and Kotoko will switch from defense to attack. That's a lovely pass to the middle. Kwa for the goal scorer. Oh, but he gets it again. Still moving on. He now needs the support of his players. He manages to get the cross through, but Accra Hearts of Oak, timely intervention and a quick clearance. Again, showing us how it is done in unique fashion. Unfortunately, the attack fizzles out. What a shame.
Yeah, and the tempers are beginning to boil now, Prince. You can see from, the 50-50 tackles, the 50-50 dwells and all that.
Lovely pass from this side of town. Douglas Nkrumah and Accra Hearts of Oak inching closer and closer. Wisdom Abbey, lovely flick, but well read. But Douglas Nkrumah has another opportunity. He fires a shot off the body of Wisdom Abbey.
It wasn't a bad effort from Douglas Nkrumah.
Yeah.
That left-footed, drive. At some point, you be thinking that there was so much power behind it. Then it comes off the body, and
one of the faithfuls of Accra Hearts of Oak goes by the name Z Baba. Sends me a text and says, Prince, it is as if we are watching Hearts and Kotoko of 2000.
Reliving the moment again.
Yeah.
Prince, and a couple of Dankwe's last tackles actually took me back to when he used to be in his prime. The good old days, like you said.
Amos Frimpong keeps it in play, lays on the pass, trying to look for Osman. Osman goes down. Oh, the frame has gotten heavier with time.
And I'm loving every bit of Dankwe now. I was thinking he's rusty now. Just look at that. Gets up on his feet again. Just look at that. The left leg. Yeah, that's how you would have said it.
Exactly.
Just look at that. He gets up again and the left leg just goes right behind the ball. Just protecting it. And that was class defending.
No, he has risen through the ranks, Dankwe. I remember when he got admitted into the National Sports College. The day he arrived at Winneba, yours truly, together with a team of cameramen, were there on duty. And he walked into the National Sports College, and he walked into his room with a lot of confidence. I went up to him and I asked him, is he part of the under-17, then under-16 squad that had come to train for the under-17s? He said, yes, sir. And then I asked, what is his name? He says, my name is Dankwe. And the way he mentioned his name with all the vim, you could tell that this is somebody who knew exactly what he wanted, was serious about it. And together with the likes of Aziz and Sainko, they grew into a winsome young team.
And it's interesting, he translates that into his football, talking about his confidence and how, he is, and he's a commander at the back.
He loves what he does, and he knows how to do it, and do it well as well. So Kotoko will pick up the pieces. Time definitely running out on this game. They would love to win to signify another win for the current generation. Let's see whether that will be possible. But Accra Hearts of Oak have other ideas. Wisdom tries to open up the game, but all has been taken away from him by Amos. Just when they came out of the tunnel onto the field to warm up, you could see the brotherliness among the two sides. Some had not seen each other, and I overheard one of them say, hey, 10 years,
interesting, 10 years, that's a decade.
Exactly.
Friends.
So it tells you that on the field of play, they may be fighting at each other, but off the field of play, they are the best of friends. Douglas Nkrumah's cross, nobody there to finish off. Thank you very much, says Amos. Through the middle now, here's a CAF Champions League winner, Daniel Nieje.
He nearly came close to the title with Heart of Lions recently.
Yeah. Rose to the very, very top after missing out on relegation a season ago. He could now bask in glory. Future looks good for Ghana coaching.
I think it does, Prince. Looking at how the legends of the game, the former players, are venturing into football, scouted, video analysis, Prince, everything that concerns the game.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that we still can count on some of these players in the near future.
Slowly but surely, Accra Hearts of Oak come close. Would they get the winner? Fancying a shot from a distance. Here's Douglas Nkrumah. He would have to put it on that left foot of his. My brother opts for options. And it goes completely off the mark.
Well, that was good attempt by Accra Hearts of Oak, trying to make the pitch a bit, expansive for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. You had about 5 players.
Gentleman who just had that shot, Eric Nyako, again, was one of the forceful characters for Accra Hearts of Oak once upon a time.
And Prince, if you noticed, Mankwame Reku is still on the pitch, but he's now playing from the left-hand side of defense. So, he replaces Neti at the left-hand side and also takes over the armband.
One of the few players who plays with a lot of dexterity, Yawa Mankwame Reku. And Kotoko come forward. This could be an opportunity for the Porcupine Warriors to draw. How could he have missed? Oh my word! Kwate came out. He thought that
Daniel Nieje
had narrowed the angle pretty well, and he was dead cue on getting the goal. But
there was some, bolting speed from Nieje over there. Just look at that.
He didn't get the full kick of the ball.
I think that was where he missed it. But that was amazing, lovely, amazing run from the center of the pitch.
He didn't kick the ball well. He didn't get a full spin that he had wanted. Hearts are lucky on this occasion.
Yeah, he tried to go a bit cheeky there, trying to think that one. I think the technique to hit that one over the goalkeeper was just lacking.
Hearts in total control at this stage. Douglas Nkrumah is looking to go forward. Unfortunately, a faulty pass from Eric Nyako. Ablode now. Let's see whether Kotoko can show them how it's done. Beats one man on the run. Amos Frimpong gets up the pass. Akwafu comes in thick and strong. Well, he got a shot on target. He got a shot, all right, not on target, but he did well to make an effort.
They are asking all the questions now. Dankwe, the last man in the line of defense again. Francis Akwafu. He has a stamina as compared to the other players, if I should put it. And we saw almost every attempt in the first half from Asante Kotoko come from Francis Akwafu, and he got an equalizer as well in the second half.
Just if you ask me, Akwafu has, for those who may not have known, has been the revelation for this game, especially for Kotoko. Coming forward, joining the overlapping run. He's had a couple of shots on target. He's managed to get a goal as well. And so clearly, it tells you that if this is what they are producing above their prime, then you should know the kind of players that they were in their prime. Here goes Eric Nyako. He goes off and makes way for William Bejeke.
That's a like for me,
I
think. But then, Prince, talking about the output today from these legends, I believe you can do the math for yourself if you never watched them play.
Akwafu got it from Daniel Nieje. Not too sure what the understanding was.
I think miscommunication there. Daniel Nieje, went through the channel expecting the ball, but it was just a bit overhit by Francis Akwafu. And you can see they're still having the conversation.
Kotoko come forward slowly but surely. Here's Joe Louise. Nicely held in check there. A little bit of a heckling going on, but Emmanuel Osei, aka Obuo, what a steady player he is. Had a brief stint in Europe
and
when he left Accra Hearts,
just to stop him over there in his tracks, and then he seizes control of the ball, and how he shields the ball with so much strength.
Dankwe gets himself out of trouble. Nicely done, without hesitation. Wisdom brings the ball down, but Kotoko would have the advantage as they take off. He's gone beyond himself, because after he missed the first opportunity, you could see the smile on his face. He knew exactly what was coming up. But look at the sweet build-up. They all put themselves into it as the ball went to the far side, and then the cross came in, a last ditched cross. But look at the athleticism of Nieje.
That was just a beauty, a sumptuous goal.
It was.
Prince, and you might run out of words to describe that, but that was just wonderful.
So Kotoko managed to bounce from 1 goal down to 2-1 up. And it's an opportunity for Accra Hearts of Oak on the other side. Douglas Nkrumah, he's brought down, trying to appeal for a penalty. It won't be given. Akwafu has switched over to the left-hand side of the attack now for Kotoko as Ablode takes charge of the midfield. So far, so good. These crop of players have definitely made a statement. And I think we should doff our hats off for the MTN FA Cup Organizing Committee, bringing these two sides together, reliving the good old days. Still to come, we've got the big MTN FA Cup final between Golden Cake and Asante Kotoko. Kotoko will come forward again. This time, they'll hold on to the ball. They are in a lead.
Yeah.
Albeit comfortable.
No desperation. They are not in a haste.
And they're receiving the fans. They're receiving the applause from the fans. They're loving every bit of it. And this was how it used to be.
And you can see the leadership from Godwin Ablode telling them to calm down, just pass the ball around, just keep it simple. We are in a comfortable lead. That's what they are doing now. Just look at that. Toying.
Lovely pass through by Akwafu. It's an opportunity. Can Gambo get to it?